the 2016 Peachtree Corners Invitational, powered by SUV TV, sponsored by Morgan & Morgan, representing the people and not the powerful. The Piedmont Bank, inviting you to experience the difference. Elite Hoops Basketball, preparing you to play at the highest level. And the City of Peachtree Corners, innovative and remarkable.
So guys, I want to say a special welcome to all the fans that have traveled so far away to host this event for Norcross.
We welcome you in the Peachtree Corners Invitational, the 2016 version from the X-Dome. Our final matchup of the day will feature the host, St. Pius Golden Lions, and the Allderdice Dragons as we step out for the national anthem.
Starting lineups first for the visiting Taylor Allderdice High School Dragons. Number 11, senior Ramon Creighton. Number 13, senior Timothy Jackson. 22, senior James Jackson. Number 33, senior Tennessee Hughes. And number 50, senior Jordan Rawls. The Alderice Dragons are coached by Buddy Valinsky. And now, ladies and gentlemen, get on your feet for your St. Pius Golden Lions. At guard, 5'9" freshman, number 1, Matthew Gonzalo. At guard, 6'3" senior, number 11, Christian Merrill. At wing, a 6-foot senior, number 13, Chandler Parks. At forward, 6'6" senior, number 34, Ernie Lane. And at center, standing 6'7", he's a senior, number 23, Jacob Spitzer. Both lines are head coach Pius and Carr.
A national anthem and a player intros, and we welcome you courtside. I'm Joe Hillsman along with Sylvester Williams and Jonathan Hemingway. St. Pius, the host, taking on this Allderdice Dragons bunch, 13-1, 5-0 on the season there in the Pittsburgh City League, riding a 9-game winning streak. On the flip side, this St. Pius squad, 17-2, an 11-game winning streak. Something will have to give here today.
Yes, sir. Something has to give. Somebody has to lose today.
The headliner, of course, for St. Pius, who will be jumping it. They are in the white. Allderdice, they are in the black or the deep gray almost. And we are underway. Kearney Lane for the St. Pius Golden Lions is who you want to keep an eye on at 18.5 points per game and 7 boards. Allderdice with their starting 5 on the floor with Remain Curtin working with the right hand. On the top, spinning, Jackson, jumper, good. James Jackson, his first field goal, and Hemi, this is an athlete, two-way sport athlete, 21 points a game and went over 1,000 point scoring last week. Still some low-level interest, but he's a guy that tonight we could see really fill it up at 21 a game.
And right off the bat, you see him curl off of the double-down pin screen. You see the body control and the soft touch, and right on point. We got our first 2 points of the night.
In the corner, almost a 3. He can't touch it. It'll be a traveling. It was not. Picked up now by Creighton, and here comes Allderdice. Allderdice now going behind the back with Creighton, and Creighton swings it over on the right side to Tim Jackson. Up crop the Jack. Put it on the floor is Rawls. Rawls now back in the corner. Pump fake, put it on the floor now between the legs. Nothing they're doing with it. They'll set it up and reset it with Creighton running the point. The 6'1" senior out of bounds, and it will go to St. Pius. Well, Allderdice, I think, thought maybe St. Pius had hit that last. He could have hustled it down. Either way, a turnover.
It might have been over and back regardless. I was going to mention nice patience on the offensive end by Allderdice, but an unforced error gets the turnover here in the first 2 minutes of this game.
St. Pius working. There's a corner jump by Spitzer. No good. Rebound flied in and got it. Was Merrill, but he was fouled. And let's see, they may call this on Allderdice. Yep, Creighton will get hit with the foul. It'll be his first and the team's first. Inbound quickly. Lane missed it. Bobbled. Shot up and in good by Spitzer. Jacob Spitzer with his first field goal. And a foul on Kearney Lane way out here. That'll be his first. And I don't know if you want Kearney Lane getting a foul that far away from the bucket. That's early.
Full court pressure. They went man-to-man, trapped the first pass right there. And Lane, really a unique type of big man, a guy that can bang around inside, but also play the front of the press right there. But you're right. Being a big man, you don't want to pick up these cheap fouls early in the game.
Jackson gets it up ahead quickly, put it on the floor, and they're driving. There's the jump with the left, no good by Tim Pugh, the big senior at 6'9". Corner, 3, good. Banged it home with Timothy Jackson.
You know, and we saw a shooting display in the first game, but I love that corner 3, the shortest three-point, shortest length on the court. If you can knock it down, it just looks so pretty when you do it.
Swinging it around, there's Lane. Lane now gives it back out top to Gonzalo. Gonzalo now with the left-hand dribble. Gonzalo going to step into the 3. No good rotation. Rebound by Lane. Lane, power dribble, turn. Rawls batted the ball away. Off, out of bounds. And it will go to Allderdice. Ball went out of bounds off of Christian Merrill. Substitutions now. Ryan Lynch is checked into the ball game along with Carson Seamura. There's a steal. Seamura. Layup. Good and one off the bench and into the scorebook. An and one.
You know, that's one thing about pressure. Pressure's going to do 2 things. Pressure's going to bust pipes or it's going to make diamonds. And right now, Allderdice, their pipes are busting, and St. Pius, they're making diamonds out here.
Free throw is good. So he completes the 3-point play. Does Carson Seamura. Almost a steal. Jackson bounces it in. They got it, poked it from away from behind and steal. Here they come on the break is Merrill. Merrill lost it. It's on the floor. They fight for it. Merrill saved it. Got it back to Gonzalo. Gonzalo kicks it over. There's Lynch. Lynch to the top side. Now on a drive in the paint to Lynch in the corner, and he lost it out of bounds. They had some momentum going and trying to make the extra pass for the turnover as Lynch lost it out of bounds.
I don't think Pius minds all that much because it gives them a chance to get right back into their full court pressure. Very unusual, hectic style of play. They go full court man-to-man, and they're looking to trap off of it. First, second passes all the way up and down the court.
One shot, and they got the rebound. Now right back. There he is, catching and spinning it. Good, Christian Merrill. Beautiful move. Caught it with a spin and laid it in. Jackson pulls the 3 right back at you. Timothy Jackson. James Jackson. Uh-oh, I got him confused. I wonder how long it was going to take me.
Nice pass.
Don't confuse that one. Layup is in there. Good by James Jackson.
And a nice behind-the-back assist by Creighton.
10-7 ball game now. St. Pius Lynch with the bad pass.
Well, Lynch saw Creighton do it, and he said, hey, I can do the same thing, but not the same results.
No, sir. Now, Brian Gonzalo will check in off the bench for St. Pius.
You can see early on what Pius is trying to do. They're substituting, early and often because they do like to play this frantic style of basketball. And they're going to need legs, and they're going to get Allderdice to call this early timeout.
Right on cue, Hemi, and you see that when a lot of teams, when they press and trap like that, you must have the depth. 10-7, Allderdice with the lead. Allderdice with that pressure defense coming in 77 points per game, giving up now 32 points a game. This is their second out-of-state contest. They are 1-0 on the season, and as I mentioned, coming in at 13-1. St. Pius on the flip side, 2-0 in out-of-state competition, and they have 2 losses, both of them within which many would say is the toughest region in the state of Georgia. They lost to Grady, and then they lost to Lithonia, but made up with Grady, so they've got a 1-1 split of St. Pius Golden Lions under the tutelage of head coach Aaron Fall. 4:32 to go. Allderdice will be inbounding it, and now here is Creighton. Let's see. Jahi Ojabana in for Allderdice. And he is working between the rings. Gets a screen. Now pops it out to Rawls. Rawls holding it out high. Rawls put it on the floor with the left hand, feeding the post down low. Layup no good off the under the side of the rim. And here comes St. Pius back this way with Sam Peachtree. Peachtree now operating, swings it to the left, and they'll set it up with Gonzalo. This is Brian Gonzalo. And he gets it inside to Spitzer. Spitzer turns, gives it off, and then they're weaving and running that action offense. There's Spitzer. Spitzer back out. There's a long three. No good. Rebound, back tap. Spitzer got the rebound. Had the shot, didn't take it. Peachtree drives, turnover. James Jackson with the steal. It was deflected. Recovered up by Obana. Now he gets it back out to the top, and here's Creighton. Creighton with the right hand dribble with 3:35 to go here in this opening frame. 10-7, Allderdice leading, and Allderdice in possession of the basketball. They move right to left.
This is fast pace. Everybody's moving. Hands are swatting and flying.
James Jackson down low underneath. He's having himself a pretty good quarter. He has 9 in the quarter now.
And this is one thing I love. I love to see, Allderdice plays that zone, but I love to see a man-to-man defense, straight up, hardcore defense.
Ojabana with the steal, couldn't finish it. Jackson, shot up, no good. Put it back up and in, good. James Jackson, man, really having himself a good one. 11 already here, 11 of the 14 points as we go under 3 minutes, and St. Pius will get ready to make wholesale substitutions again. Here's Searmore. Searmore swings it over to the top side. Now they go to Searmore in the corner. A three. No good. Air ball. Rebound pulled up out of the air and ripped down by Creighton. Ramon Creighton now going to drive below the free throw line to Rawls. Rawls, he takes his three. It's good. Don't be a stretch foul, Mr. Jordan Rawls. A senior at 6'5". He strokes in a three. St. Pius calls a time as they are trailing 17-7. Oh, look at our Metro PCS instant replay. Is that a stretch 5, Hemi?
Stretch 5, stretch 4. Just call him stretch.
There you go. I agree. A senior in 6'5", playing the center position here, would pull that three right there, and they're off looking very good, 17-7. And Hemi, you mentioned the St. Pius press. It looks like Allderdice now has kind of found a way to not let that bother them.
Well, the best way to keep an opposing team out of their press is to force turnovers. Get defensive rebounds, and that's exactly what we've seen from Allderdice. They're out in the passing lanes, even though they're not playing a traditional man-to-man defense. They've kind of got a matchup 3-2 defense. They're real long, lanky, getting deflections, and really here in the past 2 to 3 minutes have gotten Pius out of rhythm, and they've flipped it on them to be able to turn the transition game into their favor.
St. Pius working left to right in the white. Top side, a three. Hill of the rim, no good. Jackson went for the rebound, James Jackson, and he peels it down and gives it over now to Creighton. Creighton now going to put on the Jets offensive foul.
Yeah, now we've seen that called all day. They've been calling charge. They've been calling that player control foul. And, you know, that's something I like. You know, a lot of kids, they get in there, they're out of control, their body's all over the place. And then if you have somebody who's willing to step up and take that charge, I want to see them rewarded.
And take a look at this defense here by Allderdice. And again, trying to match up as much as they can on the perimeter, but still zone principles, not a true zone, not a true man. Makes it really difficult to attack if you're Pius.
As you can see it now, they're keeping the ball moving, but the Allderdice defense is there. There's a drive, bounces it across. Chandler kicks it out to the top. They're just working it around. Allderdice, though, talk about defense on a string.
I love the team defense they're playing. Everybody's getting back to their zone. That's an excellent job of defense, team defense.
And St. Pius at the same time extremely patient.
Wow.
Foul. Laney got fouled by Jackson.
What a tremendous offensive and defensive possession right there. What patience by Pius. They just kept making the extra pass. The extra pass, and Allderdice kept recovering, kept making them make one extra pass. And Pius finally was able to penetrate, dump it off, draw the foul, and a chance for 2 points here at the line.
Lane at the free throw line puts in the first one, his first points, 17-8. That was entertaining, I must say. Because Pius wouldn't give up.
No, and neither would Allderdice.
You know, sometimes you talk about the patience, and you know me, I like for it to be shot quickly, but at that point, your patience paid off, because even with a good offensive team that was sticking with the concept, somebody was going to go ahead and pull them one at some point. But like you said, extra pass after extra pass. The three is no good by Jackson out of the corner. Back tap, Rawls going to have it. Tried to feed it back in there. High flying intervention will stay Alderice basketball.
Sometimes with this high pressure trapping defense, you're going to give up that open corner three. And if you're Allderdice, you got to knock that down. Now, conversely, with Pius, they've got to track down that long rebound. They weren't able to do it on that particular possession.
Jackson free throw line jumper is no good. Back this way now, holding it with the left hand, going to punish it on the floor. Bounce, it was stolen. Reached in there by Jackson. Coming back this way, there's James Jackson, layup good. On one side to the other, James Jackson having a marvelous first quarter. 40 seconds to go. Skip pass in the corner, 10-point lead. Now they kick it back to this corner over here. Putting it on the floor, driving, left hand, lay good.
Nice lay.
Christian Merrill. Right back with Jackson. Man,
This is high pace, you know, right back and forth. Man, this is exciting basketball.
James Jackson has 15 points in this first quarter. Pius now will hold for the final shot. We come up on 10 seconds to go. The trap comes out. He kicks it over there to the left. Now here they go in the corner to Parks. Parks going to drive the baseline, kick it back to the top. One too many extra passes. Now they don't get a shot. There's a yin and a yang to everything. 21-11, Allderdice leading St. Pius. We are at the end of the first quarter. The Peachtree Corners Invitational right here on the SUVTV.com. Need legal advice? Visit forthepeople.com.
The 2016 Peachtree Corners Invitational, powered by SUV TV, sponsored by Morgan & Morgan, representing the people and not the powerful. The Piedmont Bank, inviting you to experience the difference. Elite Hoops Basketball, preparing you to play at the highest level. And the City of Peachtree Corners, innovative and remarkable.
Welcome you back into the Peachtree Corners Invitational. Joel Hilsman, Sylvester Williams, and Jonathan Hemingway here with you. Second quarter about to begin right here, and 15 of the 21 points in that first quarter from James Jackson. Hemi, impressed so far?
Very impressed, and impressed with the poise of Allderdice against this St. Pius pressure. Pius is going to have to find a way to manufacture some buckets in the half court or maybe even through their full court pressure.
Pius in the white, Allderdice, they are in the gray, trimmed in green with the green numbers. Ball on the floor, knocked out of bounds. It will be off of Allderdice, and it'll be St. Pius basketball. For St. Pius, in that first quarter, Christian Merrill had 4, and then Carson Seymour, who came off the bench, had 4.
One thing I want you guys to look for here, Pius obviously does a great job with ball movement, making the extra pass, but the one thing that has been able to mix up their offense a little bit, as you see right here, is dribble penetration. You know, normally we don't talk about that in zone offense. You know, usually it's inside-out basketball, but Allderdice's zone is so stretched out. There are some driving lanes there that if they can swing, and then hit the gap with the drive, that could really be beneficial for Pius here in this second quarter.
You know, that's one of my favorite topics is, you know, how do you defeat the zone? Do you defeat the zone passing over the top or attacking in the middle, you know? And I think it just depends on your talent.
Lane pulls a long 3, no good. Offensive rebound and putback is up and in by Christian Merrill. He now has 6 in the contest. Tipping away now, it's down to 8 with 4 boards. Double dribble called on Tim Jackson. So 21-13, St. Pius trying to trim into that lead.
See, sometimes this high-pressure defense will force you to make the uncharacteristic turnover, as you see right there from Allderdice.
Lane dropped it off, pass stolen by Jackson. Jackson gives it up ahead, and now here they come. There's Tyler Williams checked into the game, a sophomore now for Allderdice. Dump it down low. Oh, layup good by the big man, Tim Pugh.
And he's doing what I like. He's keeping the ball up high. And, you know, when you're already taller than everybody else, no need to bring it back down to the little people.
Long 3 off the hill of the rim, no good. Tim Jackson chased down the rebound. Pius is right there. He gives it over. Now here they will come into the forecourt. Wardo Jabana. He feeds Rawls over there. Rawls, pump fake, gonna go baseline. Not there, lost it. Oh, offensive. He did drop it. He sure did. Dropped it for an offensive foul.
Tried to use that arm, that little forearm to get that push off. Gave him that old forearm shiver. My old WWF days. Not WWE, I'm WWF.
Is the WW question mark still around? I wouldn't know. Let me stop. I know this. The WWD and the WF, it was something to behold. Lane's shot is no good. Rawls with the rebound and gives it now to Williams. Williams to Jackson, Tim Jackson, a 3, no good. Rawls tipped for the rebound, but the foul will be on the floor on Matthew Gonzalo. Need legal advice? Visit forthepeople.com or visit 1-800-MORGAN-LAW. Morgan and Morgan for the people. With 5:58 to go, so 2 minutes gone by here in this second quarter. Allderdice with a 10-point lead. Inbound, James Jackson, catch, fire, score. A 3 ball, he has 18 in the contest.
That was a beautiful shot.
It's James Jackson 18 and St. Pius 13 right now.
Another great shot.
Seymour with that hoop, he now has 6 in the contest. Three ball for Seymour. He has 7 in the contest.
St. Pius wants, excuse me, Joel, if they want to get back into this game, it's got to start on the defensive rebound, the defensive glass. You know, those long rebounds are giving up a lot of long three-point shots. Some are going to go in, some aren't. But if they want to flip this game around, they got to make sure that they're one and done on the defensive end. And then coming back offensively, you've got to limit your own turnovers. Pius has turned it over quite a bit here through a quarter and a half. They're going to have to do a better job with ball security.
And, you know, that's one of the things about playing that high-pressure press defense is it's a high-risk-reward defense, you know. If it works out and you get that steal in the open court, you're wide open. You know, that's easy 2 points. But if they break it easily, then you'll have those wide-open corner threes that you talked about a little bit earlier.
Pius operating as we go under 5 minutes here in the second quarter. There's a topside 3. It'll be no good. Rebound brought down Good rebound. Was that Duggar? Yeah, Dejon Duggar into the contest off the bench for the first time. A senior gets that board. Ball almost went in the basket, out of bounds. Nope, going to be a foul called, a pushing foul to be called on Duggar. That'll be Duggar's first.
Coach Buddy Walensky right there, not really happy with that foul call. But I kind of understand it. The referee didn't want to blow the whistle necessarily, but when the ball goes out of bounds, well, then there's an advantage gain. So I understand the foul call ultimately.
And that'll put him into the penalty.
Yeah, it is the 17th foul on Allderdice. So now St. Pius is in the 1-and-1. Coach Walensky taking a look at him. Sly, he was fun when we were talking to him before the game. And just very, very enjoyed the trip down. And then he's got him a ball club. He's got him a 10-point lead. And royalty is coming down the road right here.
It is officially a basketball game.
Yeah,
Mr. Brandon Clay is in the building.
Officially. All right, so now at the free throw line, Lynch is good. Ryan Lynch's first free throw. And it's 26-17. Allderdice, as I mentioned, coming in at 77 points per game. The St. Pius bunch, even though they're 17-2, and even though they have that pressure defense in it, deceptively only 55 points per game, but defensively 39 points per game allowed.
Hey, sometimes just because you play high-pressure full-court defense doesn't always translate, into a lot of points.
And they got the turnover. They got the steal on that
exactly.
play.
Got the turnover right there. Now can you get the points off of the turnover?
I guess that's one thing that you got to kind of figure out what type of team or what type of mentality you have. If you're a hard-nosed defensive type team or something like that, or you're one of those run-and-gun, LaLoya, Hank Gatherers, Lower Marymount type teams up and down the court.
And I guess to finish my thought, you notice they play fast on defense, but they don't play fast on offense. Very patient. And you see one of the Jackson brothers there, Timothy Jackson, with a three back the other direction and going to force another Pius timeout. But to finish that thought, they play very patiently on the offensive end.
Yeah, they do. And that Timothy Jackson three is second of the contest and is now 29-18 Allderdice with the lead as we are in this timeout.
That's Jackson's 24. The Jackson brothers 24, St. Pius 18.
And yeah, the Jackson brothers are, and basketball, as I mentioned, not only their only sport, both of them play football. And James Jackson, actually interesting, and maybe you could comment on this from an evaluation standpoint. Jackson peeled back, didn't play football this year, has a football offer. The basketball offers are now beginning to trickle in. It's interesting, the dynamic. You talked with Coach Walensky. He says, I remember us getting a football player or a basketball player, but he thinks it's the first time there at Allderdice with Jackson. I see the quarterback, I see the DB. Evaluation-wise, I'm seeing 18 points in this first half.
Hey, a real skilled kid. I mean, typically when you think football player, you think an athlete that can get out there and run and jump. Hey, but he's got a nice stroke. He can handle the ball. He's got some size to go with it, too.
And has been very much in control so far in this game. Had one early foul, and that was about it. Pius, another second chance opportunity, towed the line and knocked on the three. It's good by Christian Mate.
Speaking of Allderdice and their football players, they're the home of Curtis Martin. Did Curtis Martin make the Hall of Fame yet? I'm not sure if he made the Hall of Fame.
Curtis, my favorite Mark.
Curtis, my favorite Martin.
He played for the Patriots.
Curtis
and the Jets.
He played for the Jets.
Yeah, I knew about the Jets. I don't too much know nothing about no Patriots. Let's see. James Jackson going to the free throw line. These from Pittsburgh either, so this still a country, so y'all be careful now. Bringing up out at Pittsburgh stuff.
Pittsburgh, black and yellow. Wiz Khalifa, another alumni of Allderdice. Wiz Khalifa and Mac Miller.
Oh, Sly got the pop culture out on us today.
I bring a little bit of everything. I might be Sly the sports guy, but I listen to the radio every so often. The free throw is no good. Jackson
misses them both, and St. Pius back this way. And you saw what they did. We just had a substitution right here.
Hey, on the fly, man, that real hockey line stuff, man.
That's Brandon Clay joining us here. Brandon, James Jackson, really the story here in this contest. 18 points for Allderdice, and he's done it quite fast and quite easy. There's a long lead pass out to Jackson. Jackson to Jackson. Jackson jumper, good.
That's cold, man. Well, and I think when you talk about what John was saying a minute ago about normally the transition means that you lose the skill somewhere in there, right? You get an athlete, but you don't get a skilled athlete. You got a skilled athlete, and then you got a guy that can make shots with the vision to be able to pass the basketball. I had to get on there because I heard you talking about Wiz, man. You know, psbpopculture.com. I had to jump on here. I couldn't miss it. No?
That was Sly for you, boy. Sly the sports guy. He's not all of that.
You know, I listen to the radio every so often. Every so often, I turn down the sports and I'll check out the radio. I happen to know Wiz Khalifa and Mac Miller.
Hey.
Both 2 Pittsburgh natives. Both of them went to Allderdice.
Shouts to Mac Miller, man. That young fella's got some good music, man. Wiz, you know, probably a more household name of the two, but both of them produce some hits, man.
Allderdice, the school right here, producing a hit. Jackson, it is no good. A rebound hit the floor, but now here comes Pius back this way with Merrill. Christian Merrill going to pick up the dribble, feed it down, cut it into the corner to Lynch. Lynch stops, holds back up to the top. Now they're going to set it up, going to try to attack. Got below the foul line. Over to Lynch. Lynch hesitates, moves in, almost lost it. It was tipped around. Driving, layup, good, down the lane. He scores, Christian Merrill. Merrill with 8 in the contest.
Well, and it's interesting watching Pius for me. I remember Aaron Parr as a high school student here at Pius. I remember watching him play. I remember him playing in the summertime for a team called Inner Strength. Buck Jenkins, who's now the head coach over at Riverwood High School, was coaching that team back then. And to see his progression, you could see that written all over him as a high school kid, that one day he would be a really good coach, and that's exactly what he's in the process of doing here at St. Pius.
42-7 in the last 2 years here at St. Pius. His coach Farr. Jumper, good by Spitzer. Short corner, it goes. They've got it down to 9. Going to try and keep this lead from expanding. Good defense there. Out of bounds. Jackson's shot no good. It'll go over to St. Pius with 90 seconds to go in the first half.
You know, right now this is a very important possession right here. You broke it down to 9 points. You want to kind of you're trying to whittle that lead down some. You know, you had 2 good defensive stands, and now let's see what type of offense you can have to bring this thing down with under a minute to go, under a minute and 30 to go going into the half. It's a big possession for 10.
Well, and their patience on the offensive end, John alluded to that as well, which is the exact opposite of the scramble defensively. They get shots that they want, you know, open threes, good look, but that's what you're going to give up. You know, when you have those long rebounds off 3, some of that is an inherent principle. When you take those threes, the rebounds come off long, and for a team like Allderdice that likes to get up and play fast in transition, you've got to find a way to get back or make the 3, one or the other.
Jackson scored on the end, but that break was started by Ramon Creighton hitting the glass. St. Pius operating now with Gonzalo at the top. And another turnover. Here's Jackson. Jackson with the left hand up over to Jackson in the left corner. Kicks it back out now, and here is Jahi Ojabana with the right hand dribble with 33 seconds to go. Take it, jumper, fading away, no good. Rebound comes down to Pius to go to Lions. Peachtree into the forecourt. Stopped, stolen away, recovered it. Peachtree has it. Then they swing it in there. Put it in on the floor. Merrill flipped it left hand, no good. Rebound ripped down by Creighton. 15 seconds now. No one wants to hold for the final possession. Jackson, 3, no good. Rebound with 8 seconds to go. Pius kicks it up ahead quickly. Peachtree,
oh, wow.
Down the lane, layup good.
Great finish.
Will Lakota. And they finish it strong. It's under 10. Allderdice with a 36-27 lead at the half on host St. Pius here in the 2016 Peachtree Corners Invitational. Need an attorney? Contact Justin D. Miller for all your local needs. 1-800-MORGAN-LAW. Morgan & Morgan, PLLC, forthepeople.com.
The 2016 Peachtree Corners Invitational, powered by SUV TV, sponsored by Morgan & Morgan, representing the people and not the powerful. The Piedmont Bank, inviting you to experience the difference. Elite Hoops Basketball, preparing you to play at the highest level. And the City of Peachtree Corners, innovative and remarkable.
Are you sure I'm seeing okay?
Well, let's check. What do you see?
$30 a month, period.
Huh? How about now?
Unlimited data, talk, and text on the 4G LTE T-Mobile network.
You can see fine, man.
Wow.
It's perfectly clear. Only Metro PCS gives you unlimited data, talk, and text for $30 period on the blazing fast nationwide 4G LTE T-Mobile network. Switch now and get a free 4G LTE smartphone. Now at Metro PCS.
So I'm 2020.
No. 30 period.
We welcome you back to the 2016 Peachtree Corners Invitational. Joel Hilsman, Sylvester Williams, and Jonathan Hemingway. Second half action coming up. Allderdice taking on St. Pius, and Allderdice now in the dark gray. Rawls pulls a three. It is good.
Rawls has some range now. That's his second three knocked down.
It is, and both of them have came within the flow of the possession. That's something Hemi and I were talking about. James Jackson, so far, Hemi, what have you seen from him outside of the outstanding 20-point first half?
He got the 20 very efficiently. You've seen the smooth jumper, very good in transition, but just overall a very good ball player with a feel for the game.
On the other side, Kearney Lane missing that. Kearney Lane coming in, averaging 18 and 8, held a 1 point in that first half. There's a short corner jump. It is good. Jacob Spitzer, he has 6 points. Rebound, Big Tim Pugh put it back up. No, Jackson in there fighting for it below, and it is knocked down out of bounds, and it will stay with Allderdice. Matthew Gonzalo can't believe it, and I kind of have to agree with it. Just a tad bit. Inbound, almost a steal, now out of bounds, and it will go to St. Pius.
Well, what do they say? The ball don't lie?
Ball don't lie. Ball don't lie, playground justice, all of them the same. Gonzalo walks it into the forecourt. Now quickly will penetrate to the left and kick it over. There's a jump by Lane. It is no good. Hill of the rim. Rebound will come down to Tim Pugh. Pugh now gives it up to Creighton. Creighton quickly. Jackson catch. Fire. No. Front rim. Rebound ripped down by Spitzer. Spitzer now gets it up ahead to Gonzalo. Gonzalo between the legs. Peels it back with the left hand now belt high. Oh.
You know, Lane's had a tough game tonight. It's not much going for the young man.
Not much at all. There's Spitzer. Spitzer is no good. Rebound comes down to James Jackson. 10-point ball game. Now, to the credit, as we felt and seen Allderdice, there's a float. No good. Rebound comes down the lane. As Allderdice, they felt in control a lot. And you look up, the game feels like it's a little bit more out of hand. But it's still St. Pius scrapping and clawing, 10-point game.
Listen, this is just a couple of possessions away from St. Pius being right back in this dogfight. They're playing solid defense. The difference is Allderdice has hit some early three-pointers, in transition.
And that one right there.
And that one right there.
On a broken play.
That's right. And that's really been the difference in this game. So if St. Pius can get a couple of stops and a couple of these buckets to fall, well, they'll be right back in it.
Ramon Creighton on the break. Layup good, Tim Jackson.
Beautiful floor lift bounce pass right there from Creighton. That's assist number 5 for that young man.
Creighton is really, really playing a fine ball game. Now the lead begins to balloon out there. It's at its largest at 15 now. 44-29. St. Pius hosting and at home in the white, moving right to left down the lane. Flipped it up, and Christian Merrill, 8 solid points in that first half for St. Pius. As they now go reaching to the bench, Carson Saramore will check in, a 6'2 junior.
We've talked a lot about St. Pius's pressure defense, but give a lot of credit to Allderdice's half-court defense, not giving Pius a lot of second-chance opportunities. Been very good in the passing lanes, switching a lot of ball screens, and it's made life pretty tough for Pius.
Oh, that's the high-low right there. Bad pass. I like that with the big men. I'm sorry. Jordan Rawls there. They had the high-low with Tim Pugh, but the pass was too bad, out of bounds. And a turnover for Allderdice. The Dragons coming in on a 9-game winning streak. The Golden Lions on an 11-game winning streak. On the break, Jackson, layup good. You know how he adjusted? He wanted to dunk that thing.
He switched the hands in midair. I love that, man. I love the athleticism out of that young kid.
Such great feel. That's the feel and the body control. And you see he jumps so instinctive, jumping right back into the passing lane.
And makes the beautiful long lead pass to run on Creighton for the layup and score.
You know, me being a football guy, it kind of bothers me that these kids won't be playing football. You know, I'm a football guy, but in my heart, nature, and true soul.
Oh, that was a touchdown pass then. Timeout has been called. Need legal advice? Visit forthepeople.com or visit 1-800-MORGAN-LAW. Morgan and Morgan for the people. 48-29. They raced it out the 19 slide with 4:29 to go.
You know, and this is just a team imposing their will. Right now, they're jumping in the passing lanes. They're hitting wide open shots. when things go right, they go right. And, you know, they had a broken play down there. The guy who was that Creighton was looking for someone to hand the ball off to, and then he ends up just shooting a wide open three-pointer. You know, when it goes right, it goes right.
So what has happened to be now a 12-2 start to this third quarter with 4:29 to go. And St. Pius had fought and made it a 9-point ball game. It is now a 19-point ball game. Ramon Clayton with 5 1/4, Jordan Rawls with 3 1/4, Jackson with a pair of hoops there in the quarter as well. It'll be Jackson, Rawls, Creighton, and Pew, the 5 on the floor for the Allderdice Dragons. For St. Pius, they've played hockey style most of the day, and they'll change it up here as Brian Gonzalo is on the floor as well. And he's now on with Christian Merrill. Merrill along with Spritzer, and they also have Seamer in. Here's Galonzo. It is no good. Rebound comes down to Raw. Raw gets it up to Creighton. Creighton now going to dribble on the left wing. Creighton picked up between the rings by Brian Gonzalo. Rawls going to take it, pick up the dribble, go over to Jackson. Jackson a long three. James Jackson, good! Out of the corner, James Jackson. His third three of the contest.
Jackson to Jackson.
He's feeling himself right now. And it feels good.
And the lane, nice driving, layup, good. Christian Merrill, and I'll tell you something about that young man. He has played him a tough and nitty-gritty game so far. Jackson offensive rebound, Pew put it back up good.
Nice layoff right there underneath the interior passing. And these are the things that we were talking about at halftime, Joel. You know, just the feel for the game, you know, the instincts. And typically, you've talked about, you know, the football offers and him, you know, being a quarterback and such. And typically, you don't associate a football player with, you know, such great basketball skills, but that's exactly what Jackson brings to the game.
Double dribble there. You use the word smooth, and that's what it is. Smooth. For a football player to come over and just transition smooth. And the thing about it is he's lean in physical stature, so it doesn't bother you there. But the athletic ability, as he's shown you with passing and scoring. Rawls, the three is no good. Rebound down to St. Pius. St. Pius going to drive. Floated up with the left hand. Gonzalo's no. The tip is back up and in. No good. Fighting for it. That was Spitzer down there trying to get that tip. Creighton all the way. Creighton layup good. Ramon Creighton, a strong 7 points here in this third quarter. He now in double figures. He has 10 in the contest. And the lead now 55-31.
I know we're not tracking this stat, but if somebody were to track deflections, Allderdice, nearly every possession they seem to get a hand on the ball and the defensive half court.
You know, and that's the thing. Just having active hands. People always preach about active hands and just being there. It causes so much stuff. That might have been the only bad shot I've seen Allderdice take all game. It was just a little bit rushed on that shot from Creighton.
Going back to the active hands and the deflections, I can remember listening to Rick Pitino a long time ago when he was actually at the University of Kentucky. And he was the one that made, you know, the deflection stat so popular. You know, they would actually track it on their bench. And, you know, even if it didn't lead to a steal, they normally would be able to associate, you know, if they got X amount of deflections in a game, you know, it usually led to a win.
On the break, the layup is good. That was Timothy Jackson on the assist to Jahi Ojibana.
Rick Pitino, one of my favorite coaches when I was a youth growing up. I'll never forget watching my high school in Columbia, South Carolina. We played Jermaine O'Neal, former Pacer. You know, Jermaine played with a whole lot of teams in the NBA. But I'll never forget seeing Rick Pitino in the gym to watch Jermaine O'Neal. Just Rick Pitino just looking as cool can look, leaning against the wall, watching that game in that gym. Coolest man in the gym.
Kearney Lane has to feel better now. His first field goal failed to make it his third point of the game. It's 57-35 now, and a timeout has been called, a full timeout call. And we will take it with them right here after that Metro PCS instant replay, thesuvtv.com. We welcome you back into the X-Dome here at St. Pius High School for the 2016 Peachtree Corners Invitational. 80 seconds to go, third quarter. Jackson lost his footing. Rawls is able to recover it, but he's picked up by Lane. Now over on the right side to Creighton. Creighton between the rings. Creighton going to drive with the right hand to Rawls. Rawls up, jumper, off the window, doesn't matter. Offensive foul called on Ramon Creighton.
You know, I hate that shot didn't count. You know, I feel anytime somebody shoots it off the backboard, no matter what, you go off the bank, the point needs to count.
Banking hours on a late Saturday night.
That was Scottie Pippen bank range right there. He was famous for the 17, 18-foot bank shot.
You know, it's a lost start. I guess once Tim Duncan retires, the bank shot might retire in the NBA.
Don't tell Derrick Rose that. He has been trying to use that bank a lot this year.
Derrick Rose might not, but he plays, 10 games a year now? He has that average up now. He's up 10, 15 games a year.
He's playing a lot of what he's been using lately. His bank shot, just to accentuate your point about Duncan. Beautiful.
Oh, my goodness.
Go on the break. James Jackson, another hoop. He has incorporated a lot of that, and you've seen Alderice use it a lot this year. LaMarcus Aldridge use it a lot this year in spots for the Spurs when it comes to the bank. You talk about the bank, this is the same time this time last year, Hemi and I were talking about the mid-range jumper.
Yeah, another lost start.
Long three, front iron, no good, hit the floor. 5 seconds, St. Pius goes diving and sliding for it. I love that hustle right there. 4 seconds to go, it will be Allderdice basketball.
Diving, trying to
no, they're going to give it to St. Pius.
Yep, a referee down there said 14 touched it last. Obviously, Coach Buddy from Allderdice is not happy about it, but he'll settle for it with a 26-point lead.
Lane to the hoop, layup, good. Kearney Lane. So Kearney Lane now held a 1 point in that first half, had 4 in that quarter. It is 61-37. Allderdice with the lead. Fourth quarter action coming up in just a moment right here. The SUVTV.com.
Okay.
Well, let's check. What do you see?
$30 a month, period.
How about now?
Unlimited data, talk, and text on the 4G LTE T-Mobile network.
You can see fine, man.
Wow.
It's perfectly clear. Only Metro PCS gives you unlimited data, talk, and text for $30, period, on the blazing fast nationwide 4G LTE T-Mobile network. Switch now and get a free 4G LTE smartphone. Now at Metro PCS.
So I'm 2020.
No. 30, period.
We welcome you back inside of the X-Dome here as we begin the fourth quarter. Allderdice in full control, and during that quarter break, Kearney Lane on that hoop that he scored to beat the horn as he shoots that jumper there. No good. Rawls on the glass gave him his 1,000th point of his career here, so a fine accomplishment there for him. As I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, James Jackson went over 1,000 points early last week here for this Allderdice bunch, and then Lane drops it in with the little hook. He was quiet in that first half. He had 1 point, now 6 here in the second half, trying to turn it on, but still a massive hole.
Allderdice has done a great job of rebounding on the defensive end and turning those defensive rebounds into runouts and eventually transition finishes. Pius just has not been able to get into a rhythm offensively. A lot of long jumpers turning into long rebounds, which has turned into a big deficit here in the second half.
Jackson, jumper, back iron, no. Rebound, Lane ripped it. St. Pius acting like they've got a push in them. It's going to have to take a lot of push, 22-point push. Ooh. Down low, traveling violation, down low. Everett Lane hit with the traveling violation. Oh, So Tim Pugh will come back in, and, Jordan Rawls will take a seat. Spitzer will come in, Lane will go out. Well, gentlemen, while we've got a moment here, 6:56, I want to go ahead and tip my hat off to St. Pius and the people here at this particular school as driving layup by Obana. No, it'll be an offensive foul by Jahi Obana. And to the staff at Norcross, as you know, the wintry weather calls for cancellation of weekend events and prevented Norcross, the original host, from hosting and playing. So they had to find another venue. Allderdice, one of the teams who are already here. And then, as we mentioned in our first game, St. John's was already here. And another D.C. area school was here as well. What should have been 5 games wound up being 2 games at a different venue. All in all, I still have to credit Coach Jesse McMillan of Norcross, who puts on this event, and the people of St. Pius for making this event what it was for what happened.
100% agree, Joel. And again, hats off to everybody involved. It's not an easy thing to put an event together, but then you throw in the wintry weather, and then on top of that, some of the local school district rules. You know, whether right or wrong, you have to work within that. And like you said, Norcross was number 1, not able to host the event, and then number 2, not even able to play. So to be able to still put the event on was a task of monumental proportions. So absolutely, again, hats off to McMillan, Norcross Hoops, and St. Pius for stepping in the gap.
Yeah, a wonderful job. And I've been referencing this as the Peachtree Corners Invitational, as that is what it is. You previously may have known it as the Hilton Invitational. But 10th year, and the 10th year will be one that's remembered. First year's not been played at Norcross. Shot is no good. Tim Jackson on the rebound. He couldn't put it in. And then Christian Maytow will come out with it, and there's a steal. Now 2 minutes gone by. James Jackson going to drive. Oh, he's going to get him. Yep, foul on the play. And that will be Lynch. Lynch hit with the foul, Ryan Lynch. So Ojabana will be inbounding it. Ojabana in the pew, and it was back tap. Jackson will recover. James Jackson, step back, 3, fading away, air ball, no. Tried to save it, was Gonzalo, out of bounds on the end line. It will stay with Alderice.
That's just another example of, things just, when they don't go right for your team, they just don't go right. Here was a bad shot by Jackson, an air ball, and St. Pius was in position to get the rebound, and somehow it just happened to get loose, and they tried to go and save it. And now it's Alderdice's ball again.
Allderdice now 1-0 before this event in out-of-state competition. They'll improve to 2-0 if they can hang on here. Their other victory also came in double-digit fashion, 62-48 over Wheeling Park, West Virginia. So Allderdice looking very good, and they are the number 1 ranked team in the state of Pennsylvania. They're out of the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area. That's what we do here on SUV TV. We inform you of who you are watching. There goes Jackson, up, shot, no, foul, and we'll go to the free throw line. So James Jackson now, all of that, he's been to the line only once today. He's 0 of 2, but now we'll get an opportunity to get a scratch there from the free throw line with 5:38 to go.
It's easy to see why this team is so highly ranked in the state of Pennsylvania. They have two legitimate stars in the future making, the Jackson brothers, but they also have a very strong team. I love the point guard, Ramon Creighton. Right now, the kid has 7 rebounds and 5 assists at his point guard spot, and then also doing a lot of that dirty work, that banging work down there. Jordan Riles, a 6'5" senior, banging on the boards, getting rebounds. He has 6, but he also stepped back and hit a few threes. It's a nice team. They have a very nice team.
We mentioned the word balance. You see the Jackson brothers here running the fast break. We mentioned the word balance in the first game, and that's exactly what this roster is. They've got playmaking guards, and then they've got interior rebounders, and then they've got point guard slashers. So all in all, they fill all slots and the categories of what you need for a successful team.
Free throw, no good by James Jackson, who had 2 offensive rebounds there on taps him and his brother were trying to play in the backyard. And just for the record, they are twins. If they did not have different numbers, I would not know. That's kind of how that is.
I guess he hits the second one. I guess if you can say he has a weak point, I guess he's missed 3 free throws. 3 for 6.
Yep, 3 and 6.
If you're looking for a negative, that's about the only one you're gonna find.
He's been very, very special and fun to watch. And Hemi talked about it. He was offered a scholarship to Toledo for football, but since he's gotten more focused on basketball this season, he's gaining interest from Kent State, Ball State, and Drexel. And I mean, to really now turn your focus to basketball and to get those type of offers, it's got to know your college options are there. What a pass.
Did you see the vision? Did you see it? A 2-hand chest pass across the court to see his brother running down.
That's one slide. That's what we need to talk to Marcus Burnett. We need one of them vision cones. You can see the vision cone right there as it opened up. We take a look at our Metro PCS instant replay, and Tim Jackson was unable to finish it, but he's at the free throw line. And they have a comfortable 23-point lead. He misses the free throw. It is no good, his first miss. So that might be the downfall of the Jacksons right now, the charity strike.
Something about brothers, playing together. One of the top teams in all of the nation, Chino Hills out of.
I was just going to say, please go out, though.
California, the Ball brothers. There's 3 of them. Now, they're not twins. Lonzo is senior. They're all headed to UCLA. LaMelo and the other one escapes me. They all start with L, but the way that they play together, just the chemistry, you know where the other one's going to be, and it just seems to flow so naturally.
Like that layup right there?
Just like that.
That break right there. It was, where was that? Said City of Palms, where they really shine.
Yes.
Didn't all 3 of them combine for like 90 points in a game or something of that nature? No good.
Something like that. And again, I reference Hoopaw. I saw them on MLK Day, ESPN televised game. I was out there. Lonzo went for 15 points, 18 assists, and something like 14 rebounds in that win over High Point Christian and Bam Adebayo. Lonzo had maybe the pass of the year, maybe the greatest pass I've ever seen. He caught the ball falling out of bounds with his back to the other basket and then slings it 94 feet to his brother, who catches it. Check my Twitter. I retweeted Brandon Clay's tweet that had it on video. But it was something else. These guys, these brothers, that play together, they just seem to know where the other one's at all times.
And someone told me to check the Ball brothers' household, because Chino Hills is also where that $1.5
yes,
billion
right.
Ticket was.
Yeah, one of the tickets anyhow. Yeah,
one of them. Yeah.
They're going to pull Jackson out the game. He gets a round of applause from everybody in the gym and on his bench. He's definitely earned it.
I was running out of scorebook room. 69-41. He has done very well from the free throw line, especially here in this fourth quarter.
No. Early.
No shot there on the foul. 6 of 7. So he's going to finish 6 of 9 from the free throw line. And he has, let's see, 37 points.
Wow.
And it don't even feel like it.
And they were 37 smooth points.
Yeah, smooth.
Just real nice and smooth. He had that nice stroke from the outside, and even his layups, when he laid it up, it just looked nice.
Over to the right, looks, now goes into that corner. There's a 3 by Pius, no good. Rebound is back, tap Spitzer, puts it up and in, good. So Jacob Spitzer now, he has 8 points, and let's see, we have a timeout call. The ball lost out of bounds with 3:13 to go. And we talked about the change of venue. I still felt good crowd came out, good hospitality. And St. Pius, maybe, I'm just going to say this, maybe it being here, got some fans out who may not have been able to see where they were playing earlier, and it could help the program as well. I mean, they're number 3 in the state. But this Allderdice team and James Jackson, that's a tall order, and we see that now as Allderdice has dumped the bench.
Well, one thing's for sure for Coach Aaron Parr and his program here, you never want to back down, especially when you got such a quality team like his. You want to see how you measure up. And, for him, going back, looking at the film, they're going to be able to, glean some things, from this game to say, hey, we need to tighten up in this area. If they really want to make a run, at the state championship here in the state of Georgia, there are some things that you can learn from a matchup like this, even if the outcome isn't exactly, where you want it to be at the end of the game.
Traveling violation called on Tyler Williams. A turnover, 69-43, game well in hand.
One thing that's kind of rewarding about a game like this is that, if you're Allderdice, you get some of your bench players that you're going to have to use later on in the season when it comes down to those deep playoff runs. They actually get a chance to get some valuable playing time, in a game-like situation. And especially a team like St. Pius, who's not going to quit, who's going to go full blast the whole time. So now you have, some guys who would normally not play. Now they get a chance to play against a team that's going to go full blast and going to give it to them, both guns a-blazing.
Yeah, because you can see who the heavy lifters are for this Allderdice team as well. But as you mentioned, Sly, always get good in-game experience, in-game action in the regular season, because you never know when you may need to be called on down the line.
I worked for one of the legends in the game of basketball, Don Meyer at Lipscomb University back during the 90s, and one of his quotes was, there is no garbage time, and that's one of the ideas that he always tried to, convey to the team, that you respect the game, you respect your opponent, and no matter who's out there, whether you're up 20 or down 20, you go out there and you try to achieve the objective. You try to play the game the way it's played, because you never know. A twisted ankle here, an illness there, and who knows, you might come in, in a critical time of a playoff game, and if you don't have that experience, and if you weren't going, all out, whether it be in practice or in a game, you may not be ready for that situation. So, respecting the game, no garbage time, those are the things that you've got to be preaching right now.
Peachtree baseline and one. Sam Peachtree, the 6-foot senior, scoring on one. 69-48, and now going to go deeper down into that bench. Here comes the 5'8 junior, Kenny Elam. And he will make his first appearance into the contest, Kenny Elam. As you take a look at our Metro PCS instant replay, the Peachtree Corners Invitational, an adjusted version, but either way, we got it in. And I'm, guys, really impressed with this Allderdice ball club. Free throw is good, so he completes the and one, does Sam Peachtree.
Yeah, it's real easy to see why they're a highly ranked team in Pittsburgh. We actually, the sports utility vehicle, the network, we actually got to see another Pennsylvania team, Montrose, out of Philadelphia, if I'm not right. I think they're out of Philadelphia. We got to see them play a little bit earlier. You can check out that replay on thesuvtv.com. You can check it out to see them. And, that Montrose team, they're a private school, I think. Or is it Roman Catholic?
Roman Catholic, yeah, with Lamar Stevens and Tony Carr and a host of guys that are going to Penn State. That's right.
All of them going to Penn State, yeah. Roman Catholic. I'm sorry. I'm not sure why I called them Montrose.
I think Montrose is in D.C., if I'm not mistaken.
I think so.
Yeah.
Montrose,
yeah.
Three ball. It is good.
It bring you so much action here on SUV. It kind of gets confusing, So many teams, so many different tournaments that SUVs at kind of get lost.
It fell off the rim. That three ball made by Joey Carbonva, a 6-foot senior who checked in off of the bench for St. Pius.
But you don't usually hear about Pittsburgh being a basketball-rich state. Well, basketball-rich city. Once you leave out of Philadelphia, the playground legends of Philadelphia. But there's a lot of talent out here in PA.
Need an attorney? Contact Justin D. Miller for all your legal needs. 1-800-MORGAN-LAW. Morgan and Morgan for the people.com. Free throws are no good. DeJuan Duggar, who has gotten some burn in this game, has struggled from the free throw line, 0 of 4 on the day. Three ball is no good. Rebound. Allderdice will jump it back. And another thing we talked about, you're talking about Pennsylvania and the level of basketball there. I will say that they have represented here. We've seen some Philly programs, whether it be football or basketball, that are beginning to come down south a little bit more. And, of course, in basketball, the edge always goes to the north. So Allderdice has came in and done a very good job. And you can see why. As we mentioned, they are the #1 team there. 5-0 in the Pittsburgh City League, and a timeout call with 2 seconds to go. Buddy Valinsky calls the timeout. Or 5-second count.
Oh, okay. He called the 5. I think everybody was getting up to leave, and the referee blew his whistle.
Exactly.
The referee, he's going to work to the end.
No garbage time for the referee either.
Peachtree's three is off the mark, no good, and Allderdice comes and wins 69-52 over St. Pius. They improve to 14-1, and St. Pius's 11-game winning streak comes to an end. James Jackson, the high man, with 37 points in the ball game, and he really turned it on in that first half, putting up 15 points in the first quarter. James Jackson, our player of the game. And stay tuned for the Morgan & Morgan player of the game right here on the other side of this break. This is the Peachtree Corners Invitational on the SUVTV.com.
Okay.
They can hear now.
You hear me?
Yeah.
You hear me? All right. Get your mic up a little bit closer to your mouth. There you go. All right, cool. All right, welcome back to the Morgan & Morgan Player of the Game. I'm joined by Coach Walensky and Mr. James Jackson right here, our Player of the Game, an outstanding performance. I lost my stats. I think you had 37 on the night. You kind of lit it up out there, man. How did you feel, man?
I just had the hot hand, that's all.
You just had the hot hand. You know, you guys coming down from Pennsylvania, we wanted to welcome you down here to sunny Atlanta, but you guys brought the snow down here, and you got it kind of cold down here, but I tell you what, the snow's melting outside, and I think it was because of you, Mr. Jackson. You had it hot in this gym tonight, man. You did. Now, they tell me that you're a pretty good football player, but you're kind of turning your interest toward basketball now. What made you decide to go that way?
Well, I had an injury and something with academics this year for football. I ain't played my senior year, so I started leaning towards basketball.
Okay. Well, you're definitely very impressive out there on the basketball court.
Thanks.
Now, Coach Walensky, you've had this kid for a while now. What makes him so special, Coach?
What makes him special is that when he needed to improve on his jump shot, he did. When he needed to improve on his dribbling, he did. His quickness is outstanding. His defense is getting better. He rebounds the ball. He's distributing the ball. He's become a one-man show when we need him to. And the guys look for him. You know, they look for him.
Now, you know, with the type of athleticism and the type of game that you have, now who do you kind of model yourself after when you out there on the basketball court?
Stephen Curry.
Stephen Curry.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be Stephen Curry. You've never heard of the great Sylvester Williams. I know you being up north. You never heard of Sylvester Williams.
Nah.
He was the greatest coach. I'm going to tell you right now. He was the greatest 5'11" power forward to ever play in high school basketball.
5'11".
5'11".
That's you.
He should have made it to the league, but I don't know what happened. He should have made it to the NBA, but it's not a big market for 5'11" power forwards. But I do like that game, and I do like how you play. Now you play on the court with your brother.
Yeah.
Play on the court with your brother. I've seen during this game, you guys had a full court chest pass to hit your brother in stride. What type of connection do you and your brother have when you're out there on that court?
Well, we've been doing it since we was like 4. Same thing. Passes, all that. We've been doing it, so.
It's just natural,
yeah,
man.
It's natural.
And that's one thing we use during the broadcast. You make the game look natural. You know, you have a lot of players who seem like they rush things when they're on the court, but just judging by your shot, you know you have a pretty stroke. You put it up, and even on your layups were just smooth, and it makes it look natural. You know, it's a pleasure to get out there and watch you play.
Thanks.
You know what, Sylvester, and you should have seen, there are usually more alley-oop dunks between these two. I've seen them do stuff, alley-oops, that's just been incredible. But sometimes they know when it's the big game to make sure they play, so we score the baskets. So that's why I say he's come a long way. Both of them have come such a tremendous way. It's a beauty to watch them play.
Well, Coach, I'm going to take your word for it, because looking at these guys now, I'm looking at them, I'm thinking, wow, they've been polished forever the way they look out here playing now. I guess that's a good job of genes and coaching. That's
all
genes. Like
no coach. Anyone, all my assistants could coach this team. I just sit there and cheerlead sometimes.
There you go.
That's
hey,
all.
Hey. Well, how about you take your assistant's pay?
Yeah, that's true too.
Well, Coach, man, it has been a pleasure watching you guys play this game, and it's definitely been a pleasure watching you play. This is James Jackson, our Morgan & Morgan Player of the Game here at the Peachtree Corners Invitational. I'm Sylvester Williams, Slider Sports Guy, and we'll see you guys the next week wherever we go. SUV, the sports utility vehicle, bringing you the best in high school basketball all around the nation.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, guys.